All right, council member, you can begin when you're ready.
Good afternoon. I'm Robert White, council member at large and chair of the Committee on Government Operations and Facilities. Today is Thursday, October 7th, 2021, and we're meeting remotely via the Zoom teleconferencing platform. The time is now 2:05 p.m. and I'm calling to order this public roundtable of the committee. If you hear stomping above me, it is because DCPS is closed today. Today, we will be reviewing one proposed resolution, PR 24-311, the Commission on Fashion, Arts, and Events, Maud Okra Confirmation Resolution of 2021. There were two additional appointment resolutions referred to the committee for review, but the mayor is withdrawing both of those appointments to the Commission on Fashion, Arts, and Events. The resolution would confirm the appointment of a mayoral nominee to the Commission on Fashion, Arts, and Events. The commission brings together both full-time public servants and volunteers from the fashion and beauty industries. In 2008, the council passed a law laying out the commission's duties, which include advising us, the mayor, and the public on industry matters, promoting the district as a fashion and beauty hub, developing a fashion retail corridor in the district, and creating initiatives to support school children in pursuing fashion and beauty industry careers. I appreciate the work that the commission's current members are putting into this mission. I'm hopeful that today's nominees, like the current commissioners, will bring the relevant experience, the fresh insights, and the drive needed to help carry the district's creative workforce into greater prosperity and renown. Now, the way these commission nominations work under DC law is that the mayor sends the council a draft of a resolution that we can use to approve her nominee. If we take no action within a certain period of time, the nominee is deemed approved. But our committee's preference is always to hold a roundtable on nominees to agencies within our jurisdiction before allowing them to take office. Unfortunately, with the way that the budget vote and the council recess worked this year, we ended up having limited options for dates to hold this roundtable. So I appreciate our first nominee, Ward 6 resident, Maud Okra, making herself available to join us today. PR 24-311 would appoint Ms. Okra as a new commission member for a term to end in April 2025. Ms. Okra is the CEO of Bonti, a company that connects clients, especially women of color, with on-demand professional hairstylists and makeup artists. She also runs an initiative called the Black Beauty Roster, which aims to promote the work of Black artists working in the beauty industry, provide them with skills development and business development training, and connect them with work opportunities. Our committee has heard testimony at past hearings that additional beauty industry representation on the commission would be valuable. So I look forward to hearing more about Ms. Okra's work today. We're now going to call what I believe is our only witness today. When you are called, the staff will promote you to witness. You will drop out of the hearing momentarily and be brought back in as a panelist. So with that, let me welcome our nominee, Maud Okra. Good afternoon. How are you doing today? You're on mute. I'm sorry.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Did I pronounce your name correctly?
Yes, that is correct, Council Member Roberts. Thank you.
Wonderful. Well, welcome. You can begin your testimony when you're ready.
Hey, wonderful. Thank you. So again, good afternoon, Council Member Robert C. White, and also to the committee members and staff that have joined us via Zoom today. My name is Maud Okra and I reside in Ward 6. I'm grateful for the opportunity to provide my confirmation testimony here today, and I'd like to thank Mayor Bowser and the Office of Talent and Appointments for this opportunity. When you think of DC, one of the first things that comes to mind is politics, the White House, or climbing up the stairs of the Lincoln Memorial, to see the Washington Monument straight ahead. It's what my first months consisted of in the city. Slowly but surely, I started to see DC for much more than politics. It was the culture, the music, the indie brands, and the small local beauty brands that chose DC as a place they wanted to build their business and creatively express themselves. I want more people to see the dynamic fashion and beauty presence of DC and appreciate its ability to make a bigger economic impact. Opportunity, access, and equity are key principles I live by and continue to foster daily in my role as CEO of Bonti. Bonti is a beauty tech company focused on women of color. Its mission is to give more women of color a voice and choice in beauty. We started servicing women throughout the greater DMV area, bringing smiles to the faces of women who consistently felt that their beauty needs were ignored by the general market. We help build confidence by letting them know that we see and hear them. We grew from working with your everyday woman to working with some of the largest media and beauty brands nationally. We've worked with beauty salon, independent hairstylists, and makeup artists all over the greater DMV, nationally and internationally, helping more artists build their portfolios and receive the recognition that they deserve. This helps them get more jobs and put more money in their pockets. I've had the opportunity to work on amazing fashion shoots. Beauty and fashion go hand in hand, and I want more people to recognize the potential of DC to be a seamless intersection for beauty and fashion, led by the Commission on Fashion, Arts, and Events. In order to be effective, you have to be nimble. Holding true to these principles of opportunity, access, and equity, we started the Beauty Relief Fund in the wake of COVID-19 to help artists with various expenses like groceries and electricity bills because we saw the devastating impact the pandemic had on the beauty and fashion industry. We recognize more than ever the importance of business education. We started teaching more beauty professionals about simple bookkeeping, business tax exemptions, and programs in which they could participate. COVID-19 also raised more awareness about the inequities around access to capital and fair wages in the industry. We started BBR, the Black Beauty Roster Initiative, to create more advocacy and equity for talented artists to break into fashion and media, because all it takes sometimes is just a chance. To drive impact, we had to be creative. We launched the BBR Summit, a first of its kind digital summit focused on diversity and inclusion in fashion, beauty, TV, and film. We had never done anything like this before, but we knew it was important. We had people across the industry in attendance, publicists, allies, hairstylists, makeup artists, assistants, and stylists all over the world decided to participate. From London to Brooklyn to Venezuela, it made me realize that you can truly do anything if you stay true to your mission and are relentless on your work ethic. It is not enough to lead just by creating vision. You have to roll up your sleeves and do the work. With the Commission on Fashion, Arts, and Events, I plan to do just that. The Commission on Fashion, Arts, and Events vision is to develop a fashion and beauty economic segment that positions DC as a competitive market for both fashion and beauty nationally. If confirmed, I look forward to building on this mission. In order to serve effectively, you have to be willing to listen and learn to better understand where opportunity sits and understand what success looks like to the community that we serve. I want to work with more beauty schools. I want to focus on collaborating, in unique ways with the greater DC area. Beauty has a big tie to mental health and wellness. How do we collaborate with events across the different DC councils and commissions to bring more attention to this, especially with DC Health and Wellness? How do we potentially work with different Greek organizations that care about fashion and beauty to collaborate on events that will help gain more visibility to these amazing artists and encourage them to spend more money in this community? How do we leverage the Department of Consumer and Regulatory Affairs to help with small business lessons, because freelancers are small businesses? There's an opportunity to build economic wealth by simply helping artists understand how to better manage their books. How do we work with the Commission on Racial Equity to better understand what equity can look like in beauty and fashion, especially in DC? Who's hearing about it? How do we collaborate with local publicists to bring more visibility and media attention to the work being done locally in DC so it can spread nationally? There are thousands of conferences and events in DC a year, of which a certain percentage focus on fashion and beauty. There's an opportunity for us to partner with them or even have them sponsor different events. This helps drive economic impact, nationally and also bring visibility to the work that we are doing right here in DC. There's a lot of potential for DC to position itself as a destination for both beauty and fashion. If confirmed, I look forward to building on the great work CFAE is doing. Opportunity, access, and equity will help drive this economic impact. The talent is too great and the passion is too pure. It is about giving the community more opportunities to shine and ensuring that we celebrate and capture the achievements nationally. We must roll up our sleeves and do the work, and I am ready to do so. I look forward to driving change and helping more amazing beauty and fashion creatives get the recognition that they deserve. Thank you, and I look forward to answering any questions that you may have today.
Thank you so much. So I wanted to run through, first, the most kind of basic pro forma question. You said in your statement that you are a Ward 6 resident. So I just want to confirm for the record that you are a DC resident.
Yes, I am.
Wonderful. And it's your intention to remain a district resident throughout your term as a commissioner?
Yes, I do.
The appointed commissioners, when taken collectively, are supposed to satisfy certain requirements. And so I'll read the description that's in the statute, and then I'd like you to talk to me about which aspects of the description you're best poised to enhance with your own experience. And I think you did a good bit of this during your testimony. So the statute says appointed members of the commission shall include prominent business, civic, and fashion or beauty leaders with experience and understanding of the financial and organizational structure of fashion retail houses, branding and marketing, and youth education or vocational education, and who have extensive experience in the fashion industry. I know that was a lot, but can you talk about how you fit the statutory requirement?
Yes, with my experience both on the business side and also as it relates to beauty, I believe that I could be a great complement to the already great council as it relates to ensuring that we're focusing on bigger ways to really help with not only the representation, but also the economic impact that can come from beauty and fashion.
On the economic impact, one of my closest friends who does a lot of work in the kind of makeup artistry, she travels to New York often for conferences, and I honestly don't know all the things. She's always going up to New York for these things. Never seems like they are happening here. Does DC have is it at all a destination for people in the beauty industry right now, or is that something that's kind of years in our future?
No, most certainly is a destination. There are actually a few beauty conferences that actually occur just down here at our large conference center that really focus and try to bring more attention to it, especially as it relates to fashion. There are a number of different fashion shows, a number of local designers that are truly trying to create a bigger hub in DC for that representation. So while I know New York continues to be a popular area and lead the front, I do believe that there's a lot of opportunity for us to change that narrative here in Washington, DC. It will take a little bit of time, but you're already starting to see that progress with just some of the different conferences and trade shows that happen here.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
The commission is required to help implement school-based programs in fashion design, merchandising, and beauty. Do you have thoughts on how we might accomplish that?
Yeah, so I think first and foremost, I just like to acknowledge the work that's already being done, especially with the coursework book that was put together by the Council on Fashion, Arts, and Events, really focus on trying to help connect the dots as it relates to the different gateways for jobs. If I can even connect the dots, it took me a moment to kind of sit down. When you think about chemistry can lead easily into different beauty jobs, and sometimes those get missed. When you look at writing literature and publishing, those can easily lead to different opportunities working with large beauty magazines. And I think, unfortunately, sometimes what happens is we don't connect those dots, especially early in education. And one of the things that I'm really looking forward to is helping to connect those dots in an effective way with, your traditional schooling, but then also with your beauty schools as well, because there's an extension, not only with just providing those services, there are ways that they can grow their business and revenue. And I think it's just about getting the opportunity to sit down and explain some of those ways and explain some of those opportunities in a meaningful way.
Okay. Do you have other thoughts on how we could support workforce development in the beauty and fashion industries?
Yeah, so there's a few ways that come to mind that I'm really excited to speak to and get more into. But I think one of the key pieces around awareness. So just helping more people understand the basics for, starting your business and getting it, professionally registered, all these different elements. And then from there, understanding what the different support networks are, especially in working with a lot of creatives. We know this information is out there, but it's not readily accessible, or it doesn't appear to be. So I think that's one of the key pieces, is making sure people understand that it is readily accessible and really important. When it comes to workforce development, I do believe there's some pathways that could occur starting from your different beauty schools and working with a number of hairstylists and makeup artists in the industry. A lot of those ways are just by simple apprenticeship and assistant opportunities that help people get into these career paths, helps them, make their own income, but then also be able to learn to be able to grow this in a much better way.
I appreciate that. I mean, it seems like I know that we have some courses in cosmetology, other aspects of the beauty industry in our schools, but there seems to be a broader interest than what we're offering. So I hope the commission can take a look at that and see where we might be missing the opportunity to reach some young people, when they're excited about something, use that as a way to get them engaged in their careers and in school and what have you. But I do think that we still have a gap. Can you commit to meeting the time commitment of serving on the commission on fashion, arts, and events?
Yes, I can. I think communication is the biggest piece, and then understanding, dates and putting those aside. But I am most certainly committed. I meant what I said in my testimony, that this is about rolling up your sleeves. It's not just big enough to have a vision. You have to be present and you have to do the work. And, hopefully my testimony spoke to my willingness to do that.
Thank you. It did. What would be your top priorities for your work on the commission should you be appointed?
So there are a few that that come to mind that I'm eager, should I be appointed to get to. One is really around the Crown Act and ensuring that DC is positioned well. I know there's some work that's happening there, but that we can get that across the line, because it just covers so much, not only just on beauty, but as it relates to equity and also the racial representation and the significance and what that means. One of the other big pieces is also awareness, as I had mentioned, as it relates to making people aware around all the things that the Council on Fashion, Arts, and Events offers in terms of support is really key. For me, I mentioned in my testimony around beauty schools, I would like to work with more beauty schools, really explore how we can connect those dots, especially with some of the coursework that's being done, to help foster a more meaningful opportunity for them to, really grow their pockets and be able to contribute to the economic benefit in DC. So those are two areas that I'm really interested in.
I appreciate it. Those are important areas. When it comes to advising the district government, do you have any concerns about conflicts of interest or appearance of potential conflicts of interest?
I do not. I was fortunate enough to be able to speak, with some members of the council, and also understand where, potential conflicts could be. And I think one of the key pieces about this is communication. And I was fortunate enough to be able to speak with some people as it relates to this. And then also, if you're aware, I think it's possible where I can, really take my experience and skill set. And I'm passionate about bringing change and helping to bring a benefit, and focus on that and ensuring that conflict of interest is things that we're mindful of and stay far away from. So no, I don't think so.
Wonderful. And I saw in your resume that you started your beauty tech business fairly recently in 2017. Can you talk a little bit about your professional background prior to that and how you've used it to help inform and how you would use your background to inform the work of the commission?
Sure. I spent about a decade in energy, but really focused on the business side and commercialization of energy, with a heightened focus around alternative energy. Through that experience, one of the key pieces that continued to stand out was the importance of managing your business and understanding the numbers. And through that, I believe that was one of the pivotal pieces when it came to starting my business, is ensuring that we understood, what the P&L looks like, why does it matter? And I would say that, especially in the wake of COVID-19, when we started working with a number of hairstylists and makeup artists, that's where I was able to leverage the experience that I had, in over a decade in working in the corporate realm, to be able to help beauty professionals just understand the basics of the importance of bookkeeping, being able to leverage that to then be able to say, you have a working P&L to be able to qualify for some of these different programs. So that's how I would say I've leveraged my past experience in the work that I'm doing now.
And as co-founder of the Black Beauty roster, do you have thoughts on what the district can do to ensure more inclusion for Black beauty creatives and the folks who develop products?
Yeah, I mean, I'm really excited to, should I be confirmed, to actually work with CORE to really understand the work that we're doing as it relates to racial equity. And from there, what I would like to do is then share some of the insights that we've learned with Black Beauty roster. I think one of the key pieces is first the benchmarking. So really understanding when it comes to CORE, like how are we looking at it as it relates to fashion and beauty? And with that benchmarking is then from there, really trying to instill programs that focus on both the beauty and fashion pathway around what equity can look like. But I think one of the key pieces I mentioned in my testimony is listening is really important and key. And while I have some ideas, I think one of the key pieces for me is to really understand, what does benchmarking look like? How are we measuring this? And then from there, work to deliver active programs that will really look to better understand what equity can look like in BC for beauty and fashion.
And is your vision sort of to help develop the beauty and fashion industry in the sense of helping to create more artists, help to support creatives, or is it more along the lines of product development, more diverse product development for people of color?
So I would say for me, the big piece is around ensuring that we're able to create more opportunities for beauty creatives, both on the fashion side and the beauty side. And the big piece around that is really the economic benefit. So to answer your question, like the economic benefit is where I see, because I feel like sometimes people view the creative space, in particular beauty and fashion, as being great and being very visionary, but what does it mean from like the dollar standpoint? And I want to bring more light to that. And I think that's one of the key areas is around more the economic impact. But I think the economic impact can be achieved by also helping more artists get the recognition that they deserve through awareness, heightened attention, which ultimately will bring more visibility to DC. It's, yes, the city is amazing, but it's really the creatives and the artists that drive that visibility to say that it's a fashion and beauty intersection opportunity. So
okay, I appreciate it. I've been happy to see progress in recent years, and what's available for people of color. Having two very young daughters, a lot of people don't realize it is difficult finding the right thing for their hair, finding the right sunscreen, things like that. It seems a world of difference. My oldest daughter is 5. From when she was born to now, there seems to be a world of difference in what we can find, at least. So I'm very interested in seeing this market develop and would love to see it develop in DC.
Definitely.
Can you tell me about, you mentioned in your testimony the Beauty Relief Fund that you worked on or created to assist beauty professionals during the pandemic. Can you share a little bit more about that? Who benefited? How did you kind of raise funds or resources rather?
Yeah, so I mean, in the wake of COVID, I think when it was first announced and before we truly understood the gravity of what was before us with this pandemic, is we thought it was 2 weeks, right? We had the DC shut down for 2 weeks and we said, all right, 2 weeks, we can do it. And we recognized that this was going to be much longer than 2 weeks. So we, of course, saw the impact to us, but more importantly, we saw the impact to the beauty professionals. And I think what hit us was that in a lot of these instances, the beauty professionals were the primary source of income for their family. They were the breadwinner. So, we immediately sprung into action where we took, some of our own funding and just were trying to help with small bills. And then we reached out to our community of, partners and people that we had worked with saying, we're trying to build a fund to be able to help with, small needs as it relates to groceries, electricity bills, things just keep the lights on. And we were able to raise some funds and we had people apply, and then it was really based on a first come, first served basis. And we were able to help, I think it was like about 150 or so different beauty professionals with just small needs.
Running a, still relatively new business during a pandemic had to have been tough. I laugh when you said 2 weeks. I remember when it was supposed to be two weeks. I'm glad I didn't know what it was really going to be. I would have had a breakdown. But do you have any insights into how the council can help make sure the beauty industry in DC bounces back successfully?
Yeah, I mean, I would say I can just speak to it based off of the experience that we had in trying to help beauty professionals come back. And a lot of it was around listening and hearing what they needed. And I think while we can sit in a room and strategize around what that could look like, the big piece is hearing it directly from the constituents and then creating different programs that can help support it. Like there have been times where for some folks getting back on their feet, it was around being able to have access to different loan programs, right? Where they can buy more equipment or be able to invest in different marketing aspects to then be able to, they've opened up their shops, but not to be so lean as it relates to like their run rate and like how much cash that they have. So that's one thing that comes to mind that I think there's opportunities and different partners with. But again, I would really have to, if confirmed, get in there, sit and listen and hear a little bit more on what's needed. I feel like that's the most effective way.
I appreciate that. I think that's right. What I will say, I mean, we have a number of boards and commissions, and some are more productive than others. And I think every commission is what the members make of it, and so I think I think you're exactly right. Have to listen. We have to push. We have to be ambitious. Have to roll up our sleeves and challenge the city, the executive, the council, to fill gaps, because we really rely on the commission, the expertise, and in the commissions to say, hey, this is where we're missing the mark. And as you sort of talked about helping the expand the fashion and beauty business opportunities in DC, I think that's a place we're really ripe for more attention and more opportunities, assisting people who are doing this work and running a business, doing their books. I think would be of tremendous effort. So I really do appreciate the thoroughness of your testimony and your responses. I'm very excited about what you can bring to the commission, and look forward to seeing your nomination pass. So want to thank you for being with us today. Is there anything else that you would like to bring to the committee's attention? Anything that hasn't come up that you think is worth putting on the record?
No, I just, again, I'm very grateful for the opportunity. I'm eager, should I be confirmed, to be able to come in and drive impact and change in a city that's just been absolutely wonderful to me, that I have a passion in continuing to see its progress. So I thank you all again for your time and the opportunity to testify and answer questions today.
Well, thank you again.
Okay.
I just want to note as a final point in this hearing that anybody who was not able to testify, written testimony is encouraged and will be made part of the official record. Anyone who is interested may submit additional testimony by email to the Committee on Government Operations and Facilities at facilities@dccouncil.us. The record for this roundtable will close tomorrow, October 8th, 2021. I'm sorry, the record will close by the end of the day. Today, or yes, tomorrow, October 8th. So with that, all the business before this committee is concluded. The time is now 2:35 p.m. This roundtable is adjourned. Ms. Okra, thank you again for being with us.
Thank you for having me. Have a great day.